All right, wonderful. Welcome everyone to Friday Night Live with John.
And Patty.
Thank you. So tonight, before we talk all about wonderful toxins, we'll do my usual announcements. So our next Zoom call will be Friday, July 25th. We're moving it back a week because of our annual shutdown. All right, just want to remind everyone that gift certificates are available for any occasion. Just if you want to be nice to someone or someone wants to be nice to you, you can tell them to get you a gift certificate to Alternative Health. Good for services and supplements. We do have custom meal plans. If anyone's struggling with what to eat and what to cook, we can create a meal plan just for you. And we love referrals. If you would, share your experience with us to your friends and any of your friends that need our help or neighbors, loved ones, we are happy to help them as like we've helped you. We do these monthly Zoom calls to help to educate you, our clients. So if there's a topic that you want to learn more about, like tonight's topic was suggested by Judy, I believe, right? So thank you, Judy, for that. So if there's a topic that you want to hear about, let us know and we will make it happen. So our shutdown week is July 7th through the 12th. So we are taking our annual pilgrimage to Alaska to bring home some salmon.
We're meeting Dr. Nelson there this year. So we're going to spend the week with her and some of her family.
Yep, looking forward to it. Okay, so if any of you follow us on Facebook, you would have seen a video that we put out last week. I'm talking about our no carb challenge that we are going to start next week. So it's no processed carbs because people were questioning, can I have fruit? So as long as you are not on a strict Candida program, which doesn't allow fruit, yes, you can have fruits. We're talking about processed carbs, even the legal stuff, crackers, pasta, brown rice pasta, your Mary's Gone crackers, your Siete tortilla chips, all that stuff. We want to get rid of that for at least a week. Okay, we want to clean out the body, help people just get rid of the cravings for the snacks. And I don't think she's on here tonight, but I got the idea with one of our clients, Kelly, who says she just can't stop eating chips. So it's like, okay, we have to do something. We have to help Kelly, but we might as well help all of us. So we're starting that on Sunday or Monday.
Down with Kate Loves Curious to talk about the expectancy of how do
So
we
if everybody could mute, somebody's got something going on there. Okay.
Here's Taya now.
So we're gonna start that this weekend. All right. Sunday would be a good day. If you go grocery shopping on Saturday, tomorrow, just make sure that you get what you need. Protein. We're going to be eating lots of protein, lots of veggies, a little bit of fruits. Okay, well, your best fruits are your berries, all your blueberries, strawberry, raspberry, blackberry, and kiwis, because kiwis are part of the berry family. Okay.
Monday through Sunday.
Okay, so we'll start Monday then.
Monday through Sunday. And remember, even the carbs that are legal on the legal list, this week we want to get rid of those. They're carbs, and people all will say, well, you need carbs. Yes, you do, but you need them in the form of fruits, vegetables, legumes, stuff like that. So there are carbs in those kind of foods, and that's what we're looking for. I want to know how people are feeling after a week of eating no carbs and lots of protein and vegetables and stuff like that. So that's going to be very interesting. Again, the people that are on Candida program, stay on your program. You can also come off of the legal carbs. That's fine too. But you cannot have the fruits, as Patty mentioned earlier.
Okay. And if you don't follow us on Facebook, if you're not on Facebook, you know, shoot me a chat here and tell me that you're gonna do this, and I'll, try to email you some tips. Like, we're gonna post on our private Facebook page the tips of what to eat. All right, so who's up for a challenge? Let's do it.
Okay, so remember something I want to, Patty and I were talking, I think she videoed a little bit of it. A lot of people get confused on breakfast. What do I eat for breakfast if I can't have carbs? A lot of times we start our day out wrong. We started out with carbs. The best way you can get energy is through lean protein. So what I tell everybody is breakfast doesn't have to be any different than any other meal. You can eat vegetables for breakfast. You can eat chicken. You can eat turkey. You can eat steak, whatever you want, and you can eat vegetables. So for me, almost every morning, I'll give you an example. This morning, I took lean hamburger, crumbled it, cooked it. I sauteed a green pepper, a what do you call those long white things? Zucchini, yellow zucchini, and I did a half an onion, sauteed that with it, and that's what I had for breakfast. I didn't do an egg. I was just in a hurry today, so I didn't do any eggs. But a lot of times I'll do an egg or two with it. So that's a good way to start your day with a high protein levels. Don't be afraid. Fish. Yesterday I had fish with vegetables. So don't get confused that breakfast is different. It's not. If you want to have a salad, have a salad. The other day I told Patty I had a bowl of chili for breakfast. Healthy chili had legumes, and it had good lean beef and tomato sauce, what do you call it? Like
Diced tomatoes,
no,
pasta sauce.
pasta sauce. Yeah. Okay. So anyways, that's what I do. But it's just the thoughts. And if you have questions, reach out.
All right. And, the world is kind of run on social media and Google. So this QR code, you can scan it on your phone and leave a review on Google for us. It just helps us in business and just keep us going in the virtual world.
And I know it takes a moment to do it, but I sure would appreciate if some people would do that. Just get some updates and stuff like that. Greatly appreciate it. You ready?
I am ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Can I
All
ask,
right.
can I ask a question real quick? I'm sorry.
Sure.
Can you have eggs on the Candida diet?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
absolutely. Eggs are good. Eggs are good anytime. They're high protein. As long as somebody asks that. The eggs kind of got a bad rap, and you'll see articles saying that it causes high cholesterol and all this stuff in the yolks. And, if you're going to eat eggs, eat the whites only, et cetera, et cetera. That's baloney. Eggs have not proven to be detrimental to anybody's health. It's been proven that they're very good. The fresher the eggs, the better. If you can get farm raised fresh eggs. The biggest problem with eggs is this. Most of the eggs that you get in grocery stores are old. And that is why when you crack them, the yolks are yellow. All right. The rules with eggs, and I've talked to the gentleman that brings the eggs to us. Once the egg is laid, they have rules that they have to sell them to the stores or wherever they sell it within a certain amount of time. But the stores can store them for as long as they want to. And the longer that they're stored, the more yellow that the yolk becomes. When you get an egg that's really fresh, it's orange. When we first started doing this, we used to have people buy them and go home and call us and say, there's something wrong with the eggs. And my first question was, because I kind of knew what they were saying, I'd say, what do you mean? And they'd say, well, the yolks are orange. And I've never had an egg with orange yolk. I've always been yellow. And that's because you buy them from the store. And even the ones that say organic and all that stuff, they're still older. So it's just the way life goes anymore. A more shocking thing that and I'll bring this up. Potatoes in this case is considered a vegetable. You just don't want to overdo them. But most potatoes you buy in the grocery store, they are 5 to 8 years old by the time you buy them. So people don't realize that. So just thought I'd throw that stuff out. Okay.
Okay, ready to talk about toxins?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so we're going to talk about how environmental toxins affect our health. Now, we've got a lot of information here. We could go on and on. There's so much information about environmental toxins, and someone said to me today, you're going to talk about, social toxins, which we're not getting into that here, but this topic could just go on forever. So we're going to give you the best we can.
We could do 3 or 4 classes on toxins, to be honest with you, if you wanted to narrow it down. But basically what we really want to talk about is, what toxins, what are they? How can you avoid them if you can avoid them? A lot of them you can't. And what you have to do, because we live in this type of an environment, okay? And there are things we can do to slow down the toxic intake that we have in our body, because toxins are the root of all illnesses, to be real honest with you. That is why people are sick. That is why every generation gets sick younger, because of the toxic levels in the air, in the food, etc. When grandma and grandpa used to cook and be outside, the air wasn't as polluted. We didn't have all the pesticides being sprayed on food, all those things that we have now. And as time passes, it's getting worse, because companies are putting more stuff in the air. They're putting more stuff in the food. They're coming up with sprays and stuff that we just we can't even comprehend what's in them, that kills weeds, so that the plants that are not really plants, they're modified, can grow. So we ingest all that. And oftentimes we can't avoid some of it. So we have to say, what are we going to do to take care of ourselves? So how do the toxins affect our body? Well, they create inflammation. And every disease is caused by inflammation, which inflammation is caused by toxins. But it's not just our physical, it's our cognitive. So when people talk about brain fog, that means the brain is toxic. It depletes our energy. It affects our hormones negatively. It creates a poor bone health. Medicine says, well, you're older, so you're going to have weak bones. That's not necessarily true. Yes, age does play a role in certain things, but not to the degree that we would be led to believe. It creates a weak immune system. It affects our skin, because our skin is our largest limited organ in our body. So being it's the largest limited organ, it's also the organ that will absorb as much or more than anything else. Okay. It affects our hair. It affects our nails. Everything about our body, toxins will affect. Now, you will see, oftentimes you'll read on the internet, well, if you have lines in your fingernails, they go one way or they go a different way. It's because I stay away from that kind of things, because if we're toxic, we need to clean the body. It doesn't matter what my fingernails look like, whether they have the lines vertical, horizontal, crossways, X, whatever it might be. It really doesn't matter to me. Okay. So, what are toxins? Okay. So we talk about toxins all the time, and just what are they? They're pollutants, synthetic chemicals, heavy metals, and processed foods. And in reality, that last one, processed foods, is where we get a great majority of our toxins in our body. They're come in substances or organisms, and all of them affect health negatively. Toxins are invaders. If you think of your immune system, which is basically a shield that surrounds the body, skin is part of it, your organs are part of it, and everything is there to protect you. And ideally, you want the toxins to attack, hit the shield, bounce off, be done. But because there are so many toxins in our environment and that we use on our day-to-day basis, and if you think about, I would just like you to take and basically shut your eyes and just think what's on your bathroom sink or shelf. You know, the hairsprays, the makeups, the different types of toothpaste, even dental floss. A lot of your dental floss has toxins. It's toxic. We put it in our mouth. We scrape our teeth, etc. And that's just one room of things that we have. The medicines, the aspirins, the Tylenol, the Excedrins, leaves, all the things that we have and that we use and we put in our body are all toxins that we just put in our body and we don't think much about it, because, you know, we want our skin to look okay. We want our hair to be neat. You know, men with aftershave and shave cream and all the different things that we do, body lotions that we put on our body.
Body sprays are a new thing.
Yeah, body sprays. The deodorants, just simple deodorant that's supposed to keep us from stinking. Well, we stink because we got toxins. Okay, so we put something that has toxins to keep the toxins from coming out of our body, so they stay in our body, so they decay our body. And in reality, that's really what we end up doing all the time to try to look good, feel good, smell good, whatever it might be. Okay, so and they create the chronic inflammation, which unfortunately takes time to happen. You know, you use deodorant probably from the time you're a teenager, I would guess. Okay,
Puberty.
all the way through every day. And now they have a deodorant that you can use on all parts of your body and don't worry about bathing for 3, 4, 5 days. Okay, and then you won't stink. Well, that's got toxins in them too that keep you from sweating or emitting whatever's inside in your body. So what are heavy metals? Okay, and oftentimes when I do scans, heavy metals comes up. And people go, well, I'm not around it. I'm not. Well, if you live in a home that's a little bit older, that has lead pipes, okay, you can get it through your water. If you are around batteries, if you do any painting, you have paint on your walls, construction materials, people that work in that kind of environment, or if they're building in your community and it's around. Heavy metals is mercury. So light bulbs, dental work, believe it or not, arsenic, topical creams, herbicides, all those kind of things that you see there, enamels, your glass and glass cleaners, certain seafoods. Rice actually has arsenic, okay? That's why we encourage people not to overdo rice. Now, I'm not going to say never eat rice, but you don't want that to be a staple because there is arsenic just by the general practice of raising a rice. Cadmium is cigarette smoke. I had a gentleman in today, we did a consultation, and he's a smoker. And, you know, wonderful man. I had so much fun talking to him and his wife today, but he's a smoker. And you just imagine what is going in your lungs. Things like metal plating and again, more batteries. thallium is pesticides and fireworks. You know, 4th of July, and you smell that odor after a fire. If you attend fireworks, that is a heavy metal. That's toxic. Now, again, I don't want people to say, "Oh my gosh, I'm never going to go to a fireworks display." No, that's not the way we want to operate. If you're healthy, your body can deal with it, small amounts here and there. But it's the fact that we have so much all the time that we have to be careful. And as I was mentioning a little bit ago, it's over time. We don't recognize it when it happens. You don't recognize when you're around pesticides, or you're spraying your front yard or whatever, or trying to kill the weeds that's growing in the cement in your walkway. But it's just a little bit there and a little bit more here. It's the glass cleaner. It's the makeup you put on, the hairspray that I spray on my hair, the gel I put in, all those things. And over time, that just builds up and becomes problematic. So therefore, we start to have a breakdown. Okay. Water is probably the biggest culprit and the hardest thing to try to get rid of, because you have to drink water. Okay, the water that comes in bottled water is toxic, so we also have to realize that we just have to take care of ourselves and detox and clean our body on a regular basis. So, what are environmental pollutants? Okay, so a lot of times it's the pesticides in our foods, the parabens, which are your personal care products and cleaners that we operate with. A lot of your personal care products, in reality, people should wear gloves to use them. And that's sometimes how toxic they can be. You have all your plastics, your PBAs and all those kind of things. Dry cleaning. Now, I'm guilty. I take all my clothes to the dry cleaner. Okay. I just don't have time to wash and iron. I just don't do it. But sometimes I get my laundry back and I put it on and my skin itches. Okay. Fluoride. Now, we've been told for many, many, many years you need fluoride. You go to the dentist and they clean your teeth. They want to do a fluoride treatment. I tell them, no, thank you. I'm good. They tell me it's so good for my teeth, and I tell them I'll take the hit. Okay. I just won't do it because I do know that fluoride is not something I want to put in my body or have on my teeth, in my mouth. Flame retardants. So people say, well, I'm not around flame retardants. Oh, you are. If you have furniture, or the furniture in your car, or you buy a new car, all those kind of pollutants are in that stuff to keep it looking nice and stain resistance and all that kind of things. We have tin and lead and mercury, all those kind of things. Exhaust and the air pollution. And then, of course, diesel fuel. You all can smell diesel fuel when you're around a diesel vehicle. Okay, you can smell it. But those are all some of the things, and almost all of those I just mentioned, you're not going to stay away from all of them. It's not going to happen in today's environment and society. And when the body becomes toxic, it doesn't function properly. So we're breathing it, we're eating it, we're drinking it, we're smelling it, we're doing everything. And our body is trying to survive and take care. Now, a lot of times in the environmental pollutants, it kind of gives us the feeling that it's only man-made pollution, but oftentimes your naturally occurring substances can be just as harmful. Something called cyanobacteria, which is blue-green algae, are toxic to humans. Okay. Obviously, animal venoms, certain mushrooms and molds are that just grow out of the earth can be very toxic. Arsenic, as I mentioned earlier, which is in our Earth's crust. It has a lot of good things for it, but it also can be toxic, and we find some of those in wood preservatives and feed additives. Car batteries, if you deal with car batteries or semiconductors, all that stuff. So all of our computers and stuff, they're really toxic. Okay, that's just the way it is, and we have to be careful, and that's why they tell you don't throw them into the dumpsters, and they have to be handled properly so they don't get into the earth. But they're there. Okay. So oftentimes, I want to get back to the food. Palm fruit, I didn't mention that. Cane sugar, those are all pollutants designed to make things sweet or taste better, etc. So, these are some things that you just want to take a look at. Cleaning products. I really stress that you look at ingredients and when you're dealing with things. Would you point it? Go ahead. Oh, I thought you were saying so. So they're all synthetic chemicals that are made in labs. That is why if you're cleaning and you really want to try to stay away from things like this, using vinegar is a really good idea. Clean with vinegar, and vinegar is a very good cleaning modality. So cosmetics has all these kind of things as listed, the parabens. That's why when we talk to people about facials and stuff, we don't use things with parabens in them because it's so unhealthy for the skin. But almost everything you buy in the stores for makeup and stuff does have parabens. Chlorine, ammonia, all those things are toxic, and which we absorb into our body just by cleaning the things we want clean. When COVID was here and everybody was using hand sanitizers, you have no idea how much synthetic chemicals were in those hand sanitizers. So, and I'm not, if you used them, fine. If you believe in them, okay. I'm not denigrating or criticizing, but they have to have the chemicals to kill the bacteria, okay? And then once you kill the bacteria, it doesn't kill all the bad bacteria. It kills the good bacteria too on your hand. So if you do touch something, you don't have the good bacteria to defend against whatever that you happen to touch, that somebody sneezed or something, whatever might happen, that you happen to unknowingly grasped. But they were all over in churches, in grocery stores, almost everywhere you went. They had the hand, and they were selling in a little container. I still see people carrying the little ones that are connected to the keychains.
To their keys,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I know I've said to people, that's so toxic. People look at me like, you're an idiot. Okay, I'm keeping myself clean. Okay, but it's still not healthy to be doing that. Good soap and water is the best method, and we need good bacteria on our skin in order to protect ourselves.
Mhm.
So clothing has them, your tools, your toys, cookware, furniture, all that stuff. When you have babies and they're going to put stuff in their mouth, toys, it's the way it is. But we just have to be as careful in understanding that all this stuff is around. If anybody has questions, you can put in a question in the thing, or ask questions as we go. Okay. Microplastics. We all know about the plastic. Okay. Microplastics are tiny, tiny, small particles. Less than 5 millimeters in size. I mean, that's just, you can't even really see them in reality. And they're everywhere. So recently it came out with articles that not only the things that are listed, like the grocery bags and the food storage and all that stuff, but tea bags. So people that really like to drink tea, and you have the tea bag, you put it in the hot water. Well, the water creates everything to loosen up, and they're finding that tiny plastic particles in people's bodies from tea bags. So if you're gonna drink tea, you're better off without the bags. But that's how they make them, because that's what holds everything together and holds the tea in the bags, etc. So we're inundated, straws, water bottles, furniture again, rugs, all those kind of things have microplastics within them. And we ingest them. We don't even realize it. It's not something that we do when we say, oh, I shouldn't do that. It's not like eating sugar or something like that. Okay. Okay.
But
so-
we're not saying to, run out and buy all brand new things.
No.
Just, I would want like food storage containers, if you've got the plastic ones. One thing you should be thinking of is if you microwave, do not put those plastic containers in the microwave. Because then it just breaks it down. It's breaking down the plastics into your food, because the microwave's already breaking down your food and getting that radioactive, not really radioactive, but the microactive waves in there. So just,
Well, it's radiation.
if you're gonna microwave, move it to a plate, put it in a glass container. And just save the plastic storage containers to keep food in your fridge.
Well, that kind of brings up something. Now that Patty mentioned this, I'm just going to kind of veer into that. I hope that people aren't using microwaves a lot.
Mm.
Okay. And the reason I say that is I know it's fast, it's quick, and it's easy. But when you put something in a microwave, several things are happening. You are changing the DNA of the food. You are losing the nutrition. It is no longer that hamburger that you cooked on the stove. It's no longer, okay? It's radiation. In fact, when I went through training for different cancer protocols, rebuilding the immune system for cancer protocols, the doctors there said, you shouldn't even, if somebody is cancer in the house, you shouldn't even have a microwave in the house plugged in, because it still emits radiation. And that's how toxic it can be. Okay. So not only is it radiation, but now when you eat the food has radiation, but it's devoid of all the nutrition. So it's really a double whammy if you really want to look at it that way. You've taken away any nutrition and you replaced with radiation. And now that's what you're putting in your body. So being Patty brought up microwaves, there's nothing in here about microwaves, I don't believe, but
No, but just
now
thought about
I just thought I'd throw that out. Okay. So I hope you're not using it. Even to warm up water, like people use it for tea, and put it on the stove. Do it the old-fashioned way. The more we stay with the old-fashioned way, the healthier we are going to be, period. Okay.
that's good.
Okay. I'll jump back on that track. Processed foods. Okay. Which is, and if you're watching anything now, they're talking, was it, which company said they were going to take away the colorings out of cereals? General Mills just recently said they're going to start taking the colorings out of food, and another company with the drinks. About time.
Yep.
Okay, we've been poisoning ourselves forever. All right. So processed foods, synthetic ingredients cause inflammation. And just like the microwave, blocks nutrition absorption. Or the microwave, you've taken it out before you have a chance to absorb it. But it slows down digestion and can cause reverse reactions. And these are some of the things like white rice, or white flour, I should say, rice pastas, breads, any packaged foods or box foods are processed foods causing inflammation. Rule of thumb, if it's easy and quick, if it takes no effort, it's toxic. You can almost take it to the bank. That's just like when you listen to commercials about Wegovy and what's the other one? Ozempic. And they say, well, you can basically live your lifestyle and don't have to change, but you can lose weight. No, It doesn't work that way. That's not the way the human body functions. Okay. It's a mask. It's wrong. So when you're eating food, you want to look at things like artificial flavors. Does it have hydrogenated or fractioned oils? Okay. So what can they do? They can create organ damage. When I was unhealthy, I can't tell you how many M&Ms I ate.
Mhm.
Now when I know all the colorings in those things and the things that probably was one of the biggest reasons that I was so sick was many of the processed foods, because that's when we're unhealthy, that's really all we eat. And that's why we're unhealthy, because we eat garbage. The sweets, the candies, the deep fried French fries that are using the hydrogenated, I'm saying that wrong, hydrogenated oils. Okay. I saw something, I was watching something the other day, and somebody took out a bag of McDonald's, and it was like 12 years old. And they took it out, and the bun looked just like it was, they'd bought it. The French fries looked just like they did when they bought them, because they don't decay. Why? Because they have chemicals in them to keep them from decaying. Even the salads that you get in the fast food places are not real. What they do is they spray them so that you it doesn't look wilted. But we know that if you take a head of lettuce and you put it on your cut it in pieces and then leave it on your counter for 2 days, it's going to wilt. It's going to start looking brown. All right. But when you go to these places and then you get a salad, it's all green. They don't make them there. They ship them in on trucks, and they've been sitting somewhere for a long time. So we have to understand what we're doing to our body and how to recognize the way to do it and the way not to do it.
I got a question.
Yes.
John, I was recently reading an article that I found concerning, and it was how we can't trust things that are organic, like apples, fresh fruits and vegetables. They're now putting chemicals in them so that they last longer. Bananas will stay, once you peel them, 12 hours without browning. It's even, how do I say, even the fresh fruits and vegetables labeled organic, going where you think they're okay, are now being altered. Any thoughts on that? Or
Yes. It's my belief that we can't trust organic at all anymore. Okay.
Right.
For several reasons. Yes, what you just said is true. There are, and I don't mean this to sound wrong, but there's evil in the world. Okay.
Mhm.
People are after money.
Mhm.
So the big thing was organic. Okay. I'll give you an example. Go to the grocery store and get organic baby carrots. They say
No such
organic right up.
thing.
Pardon?
I said there's no such thing, and they're bleached.
That's right. Okay. They are not real carrots, but they say organic. And I bet you almost everybody that's on tonight, including myself, has eaten baby carrots before you knew this. In fact, some guys I was playing some golf with Wednesday, a gentleman said he's going to go home, or brought a lunch with him, and he was going to have baby carrots. I said, those aren't real. And he about fell on the ground. He was like, what do you mean? They're carrots. I go, they're not carrots. And I explained how they were done. And the other two guys were with us. They were like incredulous, said, how can they put that on there? Because our society has gotten to the point where it's all about the almighty dollar. Be darned about people's health and what the truth or the non-truth. It is what we can do to make money. And so that's one of the reasons. Yes, and you're right, Nancy, that's what they're doing. Number two, most of our food is grown outdoors. And with all the pollutants in the air,
Yeah.
Whenever there's a rainfall, that rain didn't just come down right straight above your garden, okay, or your field. It's been blowing in from all over the world and picked up waste. And as it rains, we get that waste. So I do not believe there's virtually any true 100% organic unless you grow it in a greenhouse and you have pure water and you know where it's all coming from, fertilizer, et cetera, because we have runoffs, we have everything. So part of it is what Nancy is saying, yes, people are doing it intentionally. And then there's part because of our environment, as we talked about the environmental toxins that are creating a lot of the problems as well. So my belief is this: you buy your fruits, you buy your vegetables, you buy your meats as best you can. Your fish and stuff you want wild. You always want to stay with wild. But can you guarantee that wild caught fish has never been in any waters that wasn't had some toxins? No, you cannot. Okay. Can you guarantee that the animals that is grass fed never fed on grass or some feed was given feed that was not 100% pure? No, you cannot. So you have to do the best you can, and then you have to keep cleaning your body and keep taking care of your body all the time. It's a full-time job. Your body is a temple of the Lord, and you just have to remember that and keep taking care of it the best you can. Okay? So I believe get the fruits and veggies, wash them with a vinegar or a little bit of hydrogen peroxide, wash them really well, rinse them really well, and then that's the best you can do because you don't know what is organic and what is not organic. So you got to make your own organic unless you can grow your own.
Right.
The other thing is during the summer months, if you have places that sell fruits and vegetables, buy local. You're much better off doing that than you are your chain stores. I'm not picking on them, but in reality, you're going to get better quality. If you're into canning or in the fall when they have all this veggies and stuff, so you can have stuff to eat year round, that's better. It takes a lot of work. I know it. I don't do it, but did when I was growing up. We always canned everything, but tastier and it's cleaner. So that's the best advice on food.
Mhm.
Okay. Any other questions or comments on that? That was a great comment.
I have a question about rice.
Okay.
Does it help eliminate the arsenic if you rinse the rice before you cook it?
Yes. Yes, it does. And really everything should be washed. Even your meat should be washed. Okay. I don't know if everybody knows that, but when you take meat, it's best to run it under cold water and rinse it off, and then set it down, take a paper towel and pat it dry as much best you can before you start putting seasoning and stuff on. You're actually better off washing virtually everything before you cook it and or ingest it because of toxins on the foods.
Did you want to go over any more of this food stuff?
What is there most like?
Mm,
Okay.
Yep.
So some of the other toxins we talked about, other than the oils and the artificial flavors, is glutamate, or better known as MSG. Okay, I think we all know it's they call it the slow poison. Such things as the natural flavorings, yeast extract, autolyzed yeast extract, the sodium guanylate.
If you can't pronounce it.
Yeah, if you
that's
can't pronounce
probably
it.
Toxic.
Even textured protein. Okay, textured protein. When you do protein, you want protein. Okay, hydrolyzed pea protein, and there's many others, but they all fall under the title of MSG. And we know when you have MSG how you feel. What does MSG cause? Okay, a lot of the negative impacts of MSG is migraines, seizures, obesity, ALS, Parkinson's, a lot of recurring infections, Alzheimer's, because it affects the brain. So it can be natural, but why do they Why do companies put MSG in food? Because it's a flavor enhancer. Okay, it draws the flavor out and it makes us almost addicted to it. Okay, and we want to eat more and more of the things that have MSG if we start getting into it. Potassium benzoate or sodium. This can convert into lethal carcinogen poison, especially if it's combined with ascorbic acid. Okay. Now, ascorbic acid, what do we use ascorbic acid for, Patty?
Cleaning our footbath arrays.
Yeah. Okay. So we use that powder but sometimes you'll find it in food. You really don't want ascorbic acid in your body. And then a lot of times it shows up in foods such as apple cider, low-fat salad dressings. And, I was talking to somebody today and said, do not do anything with low fat. Somebody said yogurt, they always get low-fat yogurt today. They were telling me, I said, no, you want full fat. It sounds kind of like an oxymoron because I want to lose weight, but I'm gonna eat I need to eat full fat. But that's another myth that we've been fed and told to believe that fat makes you fat. That is not true. Fat does not make you fat. Toxins, chemicals make you fat because it blocks the digestion. It eliminates nutrition. It makes us hungrier and makes us eat more. Okay. So this old adage of don't eat fat if you want to lose weight is untrue. Okay. Now, I'm not saying sit down and just eat fat either. Okay. I mean, we have to keep everything in perspective, but it's all about the chemicals that go in our body. So potassium benzoate shows up in things like I was mentioning, also in your syrups. Okay, but not your natural syrup or your pure U.S. grade syrup. Okay, I want to clear that up. Jams, olives, pickles, and the ingredients. These ingredients actually damage our personal DNAs. Okay, and our DNA is what keeps us alive and keeps us functioning. We all have DNA. We have artificial colors. We mentioned that. We have different color food colorings that are still in the market. They are linked 100% with cancer. Blue 1 and 2, they did some studies and that created a lot of cancer in mice. Red 3 is linked to thyroid cancer and hyperactivity. Green is linked to bladder cancer. Yellow is linked to adrenal and kidney tumors. And we all know there's more and more cancer all the time. And a lot of the cancer is coming from the foods and the chemicals that are entering into our body. So if you're looking at ingredients and you cannot pronounce it, ditch it. Get rid of it. Okay. If you can't, that means it's a chemical. Okay. Then there's another one called ACE-K. I was going to have you pronounce
Because we can't pronounce it.
Yeah.
So
it. It's acetylfame, something
something like that.
Okay. This
Sodas.
is in sodas. Okay. And I'll tell you a quick little tidbit. I have a gentleman that's a good friend of mine, known him for a while, and Diet Coke was all he would drink. And I kept on him, just gently, that's making, and he kept telling me about his stomach and, he had so much problems with stomach. And every morning he couldn't leave the house until a certain time because he'd have stomach, bowel eruptions and all kinds of stuff. And so he had to stay around. So finally, one day got him to start a month ago Tuesday. And, we went out and we played golf and he was all worried. Oh my gosh, I can't play that early, John, because I'm going to have this problem. And so I said, well, if we have to come in, we'll come in, it's okay. So we played the whole round and I said, how did the bathroom issue go? And he stopped and he said, I didn't have a problem. And he was so amazed that he didn't have, but it's because I got him off of the processed foods. I got him eating legal foods. I've got him taking some of the supplements and got him, actually, he hated vegetables. He would not eat vegetables. I got him cutting up vegetables, sauteing them and having vegetables. And I asked him, I said, how was it? And he said, it was really good. And now the man is like 69, 70 years old. Nicest guy you ever want to meet, but he was shortening his life and he knew it. He said, yeah, I'm having trouble walking. I'm having trouble breathing. You know what? I got him on some proper nutrition. I got him away from the Diet Cokes. He said he went home and he dumped them out in the sink.
Nice.
I said, I had to dump them out. I knew if I were in the closet, I would get them. So, but he has just done fat, but that's what it does. It's so amazing how resilient the human body is if we allow it to happen. Now he's got a lot more work to do, and I've got more work to, he won't eat fish either. And I asked him if he wanted to try fish. He kind of made a wrinkle up his nose at me. Not yet. Okay. But we got to get rid of the processed foods because of the chemicals in the foods.
Excuse me, John.
Yes.
This is Judy. I just have a question on the organic versus the local. Is it better to get certified organic over local, or better to do organic local if they have that, right?
We go back to what we just said.
Vegetables. Vegetables.
Well, I don't know. Again, I can't tell you that what they say is organic is truly
It's
organic.
hard to know. Yeah, I understand.
So like I
Yeah.
said earlier, you take it and you wash them, you clean them up, just like you would anything else that we have around us. Clean it up, wash it
Right.
the best you can, buy the best quality you can, and go from there.
Yeah. Okay. Washing is key. Yep. Thank
John,
you.
And yes, ma'am.
do washing the fruits and vegetables, that makes sense. But don't the pesticides and other things, aren't they in the flesh itself? I mean, is washing the outside enough?
Well, but you're not going to be able to wash the inside.
No, right.
So you can only do what you can do. The great majority of it is on the outer part of it. But if you buy as fresh a vegetable as you can, even if there is stuff, it hasn't penetrated as much, the longer it's been sitting and sprayed and treated to keep it from spoiling and rotting and everything else, the healthier it is. So that's why buying fresh is always better. In the wintertime around here, you're not going to get fresh. And you have to be more careful certain times of the year of what you're buying because you have no choice. You're going to go to the grocery store and buy those, and you can look on the labels and see where they're coming from. And other countries, they raise them to sell them. And this country is the same way. I mean, it's
Right.
not picking on any other country, but it's all about they want to raise it, they want to sell it and get it moving. So yeah, there's obviously is some, but that's where it comes back down to, we're going to mention this in a little bit, detoxing your body. You're never, ever, ever going to be able to eat 100% the way, the cleanest, where everything is pure. It's not in our environment anymore. It's just
Right.
not. Okay. So we have to understand, and most people that detox regularly, they know when it's time to detox. They can feel it in their body because we are picking up things and our body isn't liking it. And that is why when people get well and they eat something that isn't healthy, they feel it. It's just a matter of, are you saying to yourself, okay, you know what? I don't care how good that tasted. It wasn't good for me, so I'm not going to do it anymore. Or do we say, well, it was really good and it was the repercussion wasn't that bad, so I'm going to have more. That's where mind over matter comes in. And we have to learn what we can do and what we can't do based on our reaction to our body.
I try to buy everything, fruits, vegetables, organic, but I'm just wondering if I'm wasting my money because organic is so much more expensive. So,
Well, if it were me, I would not worry so much about the organic. I would just worry about cleaning it, washing it, and make sure you're not doing anything until you clean it and wash it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So what can we,
John, any
Yes.
recommendations on what to use to wash with? Because I used baking soda.
okay,
And
baking
so,
soda's good.
okay.
The key is to wash it, whatever you wash it in, whether it's baking soda, whether it's vinegar, whether it's an apple cider vinegar is actually your better, or you use a little bit of hydrogen peroxide. Once you wash it, then rinse it really well as well. Okay, so and use cold water. You don't want to use hot water, but you want to use cold water, and rinse them out, clean them, and do it that way. So what you're using is fine, but you just want it clean. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, yes, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, so
John, can I ask a quick question about that, please? Heating it with water, is it important to dry it? Because we don't know how good the water is either, right? That we're
well,
cleaning it with?
okay, well, we can go to the nth degree though. We don't want to go overboard. No, you know, if you're washing it and you set it down and you let it dry, I wouldn't take every grape and try to dry it, okay, or whatever. Not really. Just, set them aside, let them in a I don't know what,
Colander.
I call them a colander. I was waiting for Patty to say that's not how we pronounce it here,
Colander,
but
yeah.
colander. Let them sit there for a little bit, after you do it, and let them sit for a minute or two, and then you're fine. Okay. Okay, what can we do about all these toxins? Okay, how do we protect ourselves? First thing is we need to drink good, clean water. Now, why water? Because water is a cleanser. So when we get water in our body, it moves toxins. So a lot of times when people are start drinking more water, they go, "Oh, I got to pee all the time." Well, that's cleansing. Okay, it's got to move. You want the toxins to wash out. That's the whole idea of cleansing. And water helps the colon. So oftentimes when I do my Zytoscans, the people's gastrointestinal system has stress, and it's caused by hydration or lack of hydration, because that softens everything, that moves things. So we need to clean our organs. And the only way we do it is through fluids, to wash them. Just like we're going to wash the fruits and the veggies and all that stuff, the meats and the fish, is we have to wash the internal part of our body, just like we do the outside of the body. So we got to get wet, okay, and hydrate. We got to get fed, and that means proper nutrients, taking care of the nutrients, cleaning them before we eat them, and not trusting the fact that it says pre-washed, because some of the pre-wash they use is toxic, okay, and just wash everything, clean it well, and eat healthy. The more raw you can eat, the better. But you want things clean. Get fat. People saying, I don't want to get fat. Okay. But that's good fats. Okay. You want the good fat. Fat is not your enemy. Carbs, refined carbs are the enemy. All right. So you want your meats and you want your fish and you want the raw nuts. Obviously, we don't want to overdo it. Good hummus. If you're going to eat veggies and dip in hummus, wonderful, as long as it's not baby carrots. That's great stuff. Okay. So you want to eat good fat. If you're going to do cottage cheese, cream cheese, yogurt, full fat, not low fat, full fat.
I can't believe those words come out of your mouth.
Well, I feel bad for you folks that eat that stuff.
Cottage and cheese all at the same time.
Okay, detoxing is imperative. And I'm telling you, I can't stress it enough. And I know, please understand, I know how a lot of people feel. Oh, you're telling me detox says you want me to buy a detox kit and all this stuff. I understand, but it's not the case. It is because we need to clean our body. We need the fiber. I was watching something this morning about fiber, and it was on one of the news channels, and I got angry at the TV because they said eat bread because you got all this fiber in bread. No, don't listen to that. And that was a nutritionist. I don't know where they study, but it's wrong. Okay. You need good fiber. You need your vegetables. You need limited fruit. You need good quality fiber like you take when you detox. You need the detox herb because that purifies the blood. The blood becomes toxic from the stuff we ingest in our body. Whether we breathe it, we eat it, we drink it, we smell it. It's in our body. That purifies the blood. This is why so many people later in life end up on blood thinners because their blood is so toxic that it can't flow properly. And then the cleanse for the intestinal tract, get rid of all the garbage that lies in our intestinal tract to include parasites. So that's the reason we detox regularly. And we should always know to detox once every 3 months or more if you got off track, more if you are feeling sluggish and sick. And when we don't feel well, oftentimes that's when we say, I don't want to do it because I don't feel well. That's when you need to do it. I mentioned something to somebody today. They said they take a supplement when they start feeling bad or they start hurting, or I can't remember now exactly. And I said, well, that's the medical modality. Wait until you start feeling bad and then do something. In our world, we say do things regularly so you don't feel bad. For all of you Christians out there, we say be good so that when the day comes, you know where you're going. You don't wait until the day and say, oh, I want to go that direction. Okay. Doesn't work that way. Same with our health.
John, what do you think of
Yes.
the food pyramid? It seems like it's just all backwards.
Well, to a degree, it is. We put the food pyramid is designed to try to tell people the peak, don't do much of that. And as you go down, it's wider, you can do more and more and more and more. Really, the food pyramid should be like fruits, veggies, lean protein, limited grains, and that should really be about it. Okay. There shouldn't be any of the sugars and all that stuff, but that's designed by the food industry. If they did that and people quit buying all the junk, well, look how many companies would go out of business. And that's not their objective. Okay.
Nancy, do you have a comment or
Yes,
question?
yes. Muriel, you'd be happy to know this. They don't use the food pyramid anymore because they realized that it really wasn't meeting the needs or what we needed to stay healthy.
Well, I don't know who they are, but a lot of people still use it, the food pyramid, because
It's a very loose guideline.
Yeah, very.
I know registered dietitians do not, I mean, they use it maybe as a guideline, but it is not the foundation of the way you should eat anymore.
No, it isn't. It isn't at all. And really, it never has been, but it came out the way it was, and I don't pay any attention to it anymore at all. Okay.
I think that's what's helping people to become so obese.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that's the way we eat. Exactly.
Yeah.
And the chemicals.
Yeah.
We need to get loose. Okay. We need to control our stress. We need to lower cortisol levels. I don't know if anybody that's listening has any stress. Okay. If you do, you've got to figure out a way. I did a Zyto today, and one person said, number one thing they needed to do is deep breathing. And I think the number 3 thing was prayer and meditation. That tells you that person's overly stressed. Okay. They may not realize it. They may not feel it or see it, but they are. And we have to learn to recognize what stress is and what stress does. And stress destroys. And when we become stressed, I'm going to tell you right now, when you become overly stressed, the first thing you think of is not going and getting some hummus and celery and having a snack. Okay. We turn to food, but it's never the good stuff, the healthy food. Okay. And so stress drives us in the wrong direction for our health, and the stress and the cortisol alone destroys us. So when we go under stress, we have to realize I'm under stress and I've got to control it by not doing things that are going to further damage my well-being. So it's a hard concept. And that's why I tell people, if you start getting stressed and you start heading the wrong direction, you need to pick up the phone and call us at the office. If we're not open, you need to call me in my cell. I have no problem telling you what to do. Right?
Right.
That's for your best interest. So all the toxins, all the stuff, and somebody's out there thinking, oh my gosh, how do we live? And it's true, but we can't stress over it because you're not going to change it. You can only do certain things to take care of it. Like we talked about washing and the veggies and the fruits and the meats and looking at things, and you can only do what you can do. All right. But what are some of the other things you can do? You can detox at least 4 times a year. Take clean supplements. You're not going to get enough nutrition from eating. You can't. Eat nutritious food, 80-20, we call it. Okay. 80% has to be really healthy. 20%, for those of you, some of you can't get away with 20% because you're not healthy enough. Move your body. Take time to exercise. Deep breathing. Do some stretching, reading, praying, drink pure water, and then get outside. Look at the sun. Be in the sun a little bit, okay? If you're stressed and you need to decompress, get out early in the morning, face the sunshine. Get out at sunset, face the sunshine, let it hit you in the face. That's the best time to get sunshine and calm your body. Sunrise, sunset.
John,
Yes.
how do we drink pure water? That always puzzles me because
You put it to your lips and tip it.
I mean,
I'll hit him for you, Muriel.
thank you, Patty.
Pure water, you got to get something that filters your water. You got to have your water tested, see what's in it. And then if you don't have pure water, you got to invest in something to filter at least your drinking water. That's the only way you can do it anymore. Our water's terrible.
Is a Brita filter or something like that it's probably not the
No.
best of all, but
Well, it's better than nothing, but it doesn't take much out.
yeah.
Okay, but it's better than nothing.
Okay.
Anything is better than nothing. Some people like to run it through charcoal. Better than nothing, but it's still not pure. But you're getting some stuff out.
What about we buy gallons of water and some of it says that it's purified, others says it's pure spring water.
So here's what you want to do. The next time you buy that spring water, ask them where the spring is they got it.
I usually get Poland Springs.
Where's Poland Spring?
Maine.
Are you sure? It's just like the vegetables. We don't know where that water's coming from.
Okay.
Plus that it's in a plastic jug, and plastic we know is toxic. Okay.
Yes.
So the other people say, well, just drink distilled water. No, because unless you're on 100% nutrition, people on programs are on 100% nutrition. But if you're not on a program, you want water that has nutrients in it, because there's a lot of wonderful nutrients in water. So that's why you need it filtered. And, that's why I say a Brita is better than, I would never tell you, Muriel, in, your case, not on a program, to drink always distilled water, even though it says it's purified, because you've now lost all the nutrition. So we need nutrition. Okay. So that's a tough one. Water is the toughest one. The only thing I can tell you is, in my office, I have a filter, so it's completely pure. In my home, I have that too, just for the drinking water. I did not get for showers and all that stuff because I just didn't I don't think it's necessary if you eat well enough and you do drink pure water. That's my opinion. Some people say, no, I'm getting the whole house, but that's up to them. But
Thank you,
what,
John.
what
Yeah,
we drink should be pure.
yeah.
Okay.
John, excuse me, I get a filter for my shower from Dr. Mercola. It's not that expensive.
Okay.
And I use that
Yeah.
in my shower.
Okay.
You just
Yeah,
attach it,
that's-
pretty easy. And
Okay.
Whole Foods sells water now purified, and you can buy glass containers.
Yeah, but
You can-
do you know where that water came from?
Well, it's a company and they check it, regularly and they clean it. It's supposedly reputable, but they have reverse osmosis, deionized, and alkalized. Deionized is like distilled.
Yeah, I know. But
Yeah.
the thing is, you don't know 100%. That's the only thing. Okay.
I know. I thought the
Whole
same.
Whole Food sells pies. So we can't believe that just because it comes from Whole Foods or Trader Joe's or health food store that it is 100%
Yeah.
healthy. We can't lean on that.
Yeah, you have to fill the bottle yourself. They just provide the machine for it and they have it all checked off, but they've cleaned it
Uh-huh.
weekly.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
Okay. Good. All these are good ideas. I mean, anything's better than, drinking tap water, city water.
Mhm.
Stuff is horrible. Okay. Zyto scans helps immensely for people to see where their body is and what organs are and what nutrients you need. So, if you're in the area, we know we can do it remote too. So, schedule, see what your body's doing periodically. We do it once a month on a lot of people that come in, and sometimes it gets away from them, and all of a sudden we realize it's 2 or 3 months and they're not feeling as well as they should, et cetera, et cetera. But do it as often as you can. We have our private Facebook page. There was a couple people in today are starting programs tomorrow. Both of them signed on. I don't know if you saw it or not, but they did. And we welcome them to it. Join our page. Well, a lot of good ideas float around if you ask questions and stuff. We just want to help and connect people with things that they can do to make their selves healthy and make life better. And I don't even talk about longevity. I talk about quality of life. I want quality. It's not my doing how long. It's my doing what kind of quality we have for people that I work with and help. I appreciate everybody being here. We're going to have a drawing here in a couple minutes. You got to be still on board when we draw your name. So if you have any questions while Patty is getting back to the main page, now is your time to shout.
Okay.
There's something called non-water or something like that that my friend, she gets it in a cooler and it's chilled.
Non-water?
Yes, she said it doesn't have anything in it. And I hadn't heard about anything. I can't find information on it.
When you say it has nothing in it, are you talking about toxins or nutrients?
Minerals, it's supposed to be a good pH.
Okay. I have never heard of anything like that. If you find out some information, want to send it to me, I'd be more than happy to take a look at it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
John, I have a question on gas fumes. Like when you're putting gas in your car, can those be toxic where you should wear a mask when you're doing that?
I would not say you have to wear a mask because if you're going to fill up your tank, you got the nozzle and there's minimal that comes out. Unless you're standing with your face right to the gas tank, I would say no.
I read something online about it and it said to make sure the wind is going a certain way because it can get in your system. Because I'm sensitive and I notice it is strong when I'm filling the car up, but I was just wondering.
Some people are more sensitive to certain smells. I'm very, very, very sensitive to cigarette smoke. If there's a car, if I'm sitting at a red light and somebody is smoking in a car in front of me, a lot of times I can smell it. but I'm not gonna
Yeah.
put on a mask because of it. You know, it's just, it's
Right.
annoying to me, but the gas smells, I never pay any attention when I'm pumping gas. I don't know that I smelled, I can't, just thinking, but I mean, if you feel it's bothering you, wearing a mask is okay, but I don't necessarily think it's 100% necessary.
Okay. Yeah.
Now,
Thanks. Depends on the
now, if it
person.
was
Yep.
somebody, if it was somebody that pumps gas for a living, you know, and is around fumes all the
Yeah.
time, then I'd say
Right.
yes. But if you're just
Yeah.
pulling in pump gas for 5 minutes, I would say you don't need to worry about it.
But if, like, I live near a mechanic, he's not right on top of me, but you know, those fumes could come over. You know, they're working on cars a lot.
Yeah, but a lot of that's dissipated into the air though, too. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I would necessarily concern myself overly of that, you know.
Yeah. And they have filtering systems too inside, you know, for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions? No? Okay. Um,
Okay.
okay. No other questions? Simone, are you there? So Simone signed on a while ago. Okay, we're gonna do a drawing. Got everybody in here. So for those that are new, we do 4 drawings every time we have a class. One is, the first one's for $100 gift certificate. The rule is you have 1 month to use it. Well, before the next class.
Which is.
So by close of business on the 24th, you have to use it or you lose it. The second one is for $50, and then we do 2 $25 ones. You can use it for product, you can use it for services. You can give it back to us if you want. But I like to reward people for being here and learning and asking questions, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so Patty is going to draw. So if you don't win, it's her fault. And I put them all in here. So if you do win, it's my fault.
Oh, man.
Okay, $100. If you're not there when we call your name, you lose. This person, I can see them. They look like they're reclining. Clayton Siegel.
Oh, I love winning.
Clayton, a winner, $100.
Thank you so much.
Hey.
You're welcome. Okay, $50. A $50 winner. June, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, June, congratulations. You were so
Thank
quiet
you.
tonight.
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Is Dale with you?
No, he didn't stay for the whole thing. So if he won, I was going to have to tell you, have to draw another one. But it was me, so I'm lucky.
No.
It's not this one.
Okay, so the first $25. Judy. Judy, you there?
Still there,
Thank you.
Judy?
I am here. Thank you.
Okay. And the second $25.
See how much we trust each other? He shuffles them and I have to shuffle them again.
Simone, are you still there?
Oh, yeah. Simone. I see your name.
I see the name.
Simone ain't talking.
Simone, you gotta tell me you're there or you lose $25. Going, gone. Oh, okay, another thought. Well, we get to draw again because Dale got drawn and he's gone. Okay.
All right, wow. Chances are getting better here, folks. Right? I want that big one.
No. Heather.
Yay, Heather.
Thanks, Simone and Dale.
Well,
They
Yeah.
made your day.
Made your day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It's going to be hot this coming week. Stay cool, drink water. Don't overdo it. Okay. And anybody have any questions or comments, anything they want to talk about?
Do we, with
Like,
the
so-
weather and trying to hydrate, do we need to monitor how much of the electrolytes we're taking in, or do we want more electrolyte drinks?
Okay. If you eat healthy and you drink good, clean water, you should be fine.
So
Okay.
focus on like fruits and vegetables,
Yep.
if you're eating fruits that are good water content, like cucumbers, watermelon, fruits and veggies are your best thing. And we're doing our no carb, no processed carb challenge next week. So, try that too.
Mhm.
We're gonna go for at least 7 days.
It's a good way to get the nutrients and all this stuff is when it's hot. Just eat healthy. That's the best way to do it. What do most people turn to when it's hot? Ice cream, okay, frozen drinks, all that stuff. Oh, it's so hot, I need that. But that actually dehydrates you. All right.
So
Okay.
everything, fruits and vegetables are always better in the summer anyway.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. And really, you cannot overdo fruits and vegetables. You just can't. It's impossible. So, okay, anybody have any questions, anything?
How
Yes.
often should we get the container that we use for detoxing? Change that container,
Oh, the water bottle?
water bottle.
If you wash them, I mean, are you using it all the time?
I use it every time I detox.
Yeah. If you're just using it to detox, you can virtually, as long as you're washing it and cleaning, you can use it forever. I've got bottles I've had them for 20 years. But
Yes, the
when I'm done, I
logos
wash
are-
them out. Huh?
Logo's worn off of that one.
Yeah. Yeah, this one has no logo left, but see, it's hard plastic, so it's okay. But don't leave them in the heat.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one other thing too, please. I hope if you're going to have bottled water, you're going to the beach, don't leave it in the trunk of your car, in the garage where it's real hot. That plastic is melting into the water. It's dangerous. You'll see people buy cases of water, put them in their trunk so I have it when I want it. No. Don't do it. Okay? Very toxic, very poison. The PBAs are very toxic. So
Excuse me, John, the cleanse and the detox pills, does it make sense to take those in between your detox because it's so important for your blood to always be clean or your colon to be?
well, the
You know?
cleanse you don't need to take all the time if you're moving stools okay, you're eating right. The detox herb is a blood purifier. That is one herb that could be taken all the time because it's, a lot of people take aspirin to keep the blood thin. We never want thin blood, we want clean blood. And that's what the detox herb does. So I wouldn't tell somebody both cleanse and detox all the time, but the cleanse actually incites the colon to get the peristaltic action. But if you've got good peristaltic action, you don't necessarily need that. But we all need clean blood. So if people wanted to take the detox herb all the time, it certainly does not hurt at all. And
And
if
how
you're
many
traveling,
Yep.
and you're going out of country, it's so good to have the detox herb because you eat different. There's just different things. You're on a plane. There's just a lot of garbage, not just food but air. So that does help. So I would say detox. Wonderful if somebody wants to be on all the time. Cleanse, you don't have to be on all the time unless you're having problems moving stools and stuff like that. And even then, I want you to start moving stools better by eating better.
Great. And the detox, the dosage on that, average dosage for somebody?
2 and 2.
Like
2
2
and 2.
2 and 2? Okay.
2
2
and 2.
2.
Yep.
Thanks.
Sure.
I have a question.
Yes.
What do you think about the straws that they came out with that supposedly they filter out all kinds of bacteria. Supposedly you can drink water from a puddle.
7:15.
You know, in case of an emergency kind of thing.
Well,
Double tap to activate. Double tap.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on it. I'm not going to carry a straw around in case of an emergency, to be honest with you. So it wouldn't work for me, I don't think. But I'd have to look at it and see what it does. I know that there are bottles that they have made supposedly that if you were lost and you could get water from a swamp and it purified as you drink it in emergency. But again, I don't know who's going to carry it around in case of an emergency. So it might work. It's probably better than nothing, but I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody
John, you
else?
talked about the sunrise and the sunset
Mhm.
and the helping out with everything. Would this be considered 2 feet from the sunset?
Oh,
Yeah, it would
Clayton,
be.
you're so corny.
Yep, there you are.
Enjoy that.
Yep,
I am.
enjoy. So, all
Thank
right.
you, John. Thank you, Patty, very much.
You're welcome all.
Thank you, everybody. Okay, and have a
Alright.
great
Good night.
weekend and be safe. Just know we love you and there's nothing you can do about it.
All right.